So, to start a conversation on social media noise. Uh, a lot of the issues that I've been having lately is the fact that I can't create work. And this isn't through like finding jobs or paid gigs or whatever. That's something that I sort of slightly gave up, you know, last year through the fact of, through 2014 I sort of burnt myself out with photography, weddings especially. uh, and it's been a sort of a relief not doing weddings last year, because I haven't had to worry about clients and deadlines and did I forget something, that I give them the wrong images. I didn't have to worry about any of that stuff last year. I just sort of focused on myself, my work in general, being laid off earlier in 2015 from one of my jobs, and then eventually finding a job at PetSmart. The only problem with PetSmart is that I worked in shipping, so I was doing a lot of weird hours, so from 2 a.m. to 10 a.m. So I would work for 8 hours, go home, and then sleep, and then I just wouldn't do anything. I wouldn't shoot. I wouldn't take pictures. For the odd time I would get home and be a little bit creative, but that's because my brain was still awake, so I was able to do those things. But it just dragged on and dragged on, and by May or by September of last year, it was getting cold, and I was just getting frustrated with myself because I wasn't doing anything. Some of my friends were like, on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter were just like, why aren't you taking pictures anymore? Where's your photography? And I just sort of thought about it, and I just sort of said, I don't know. I guess I haven't been thinking about doing it. I wouldn't even. I would leave this at home. I wouldn't even take this with me to work. It was pointless. There was no reason to do it. So I quit. I actually got a job at a camera company here in town, in Ottawa, and man, did that ever restart the creative juices. It's a photography store, so immediately back to basically it was me starting over at Henry's again, basically 2008, and just starting out in photography and getting back into this camera store, Tech, and the creativity just started to flow back in. I just started to have thoughts about what I could do, what I could get in terms of gear, and then I was got a little bit of gas, gear acquisition from having to all photographers, but I liked the fact that I was being creative again, and that I was going to create work, and I did. And I from November to December, I created a lot of images and went to different places, and then from January till March, I was shooting and just taking pictures for myself. I was doing it for me mostly. I wasn't doing it for any specific reason. It was more for myself. And then I'd say about halfway through March, I don't know. I was shooting every day. I was getting up early, and I was going to work early so I could spend half an hour or so walking around downtown. It was still frigid here. It was like minus 20 to 30 sometimes. Not all the time, but it was cold. And it was just dragging on. Winter was just dragging on, so I started to slowly stop bringing my camera with me everywhere. It just got to the point where I didn't want to take pictures, or it was just, there was a sort of a creative block. It disappeared for a little bit. It came, my creativity came back, and I started shooting a little bit more and different things, and with my iPhone mostly, because I just had it with me all the time. And so going through that little bit of a drought kind of reminded me of a drought that I had earlier back in like 2013, I believe, and I stopped creating in general. So I got back into it, started shooting some more, and then at the end of March, April hit, and I sort of just stopped. I didn't bring my camera with me anywhere. I don't know why. I just left it at home, didn't want to deal with it. Um, the odd time I'd go out on a weekend and take pictures, and that was pretty much it. And then this month, I just haven't been using my camera at all. I started a new project called Hands to try and jumpstart the creativity again, and it went well. I did one shoot so far, well, two technically, but the second one was kind of it was just the guy that I was photographing hurt his hand, so I couldn't continue it. And the project is basically photographing people with their hands and using them to create either food, sculptures, wood projects, knives, and I'm still sort of gathering the idea of behind it. So I haven't really fully flushed it out, but I know it's something that I want to do and it's something I want to fulfill. But lately I just hit this wall of creativity, wall of creative drought, and one of the big reasons behind it is this. Not necessarily the phone itself, because it does help me create some images, but Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, all the photo sharing websites, even Pinterest in some cases. It's become noise, and it's become such a blockage in my creative process, that it used to be a place that I'd go to. Some websites I'd go to Flickr and look at images from people, created with a certain camera or a lighting tool or whatever, or a place, and I would look at those images and get inspired and be like, oh, I want to do that, I want to do this, I want to do that, great, let's go do that, and try and recreate my own version of that image. But then at some point in time, I was on Instagram and I was just looking at images and I was just, I guess, over-inspired, if that makes any sense. Like, there was just so much creative goodness out there that it was overstimulating me. I'd look at images and be like, well, I'm never going to be able to do that because I don't have the money to get there. I'm never going to be able to create that shot because I don't have that lighting equipment. I don't have the money to get that equipment. And it just became this circle of, I can't do it because I don't have the money. Well, I can't be that creative because I don't have the money. And it sort of balanced around money, but, someone shook my head and said, it's not about money, it's just go out and try and do it. Even though I can't get to that country or wherever it is, try and create something around it, recreate the image, the scene, whatever, just try and do it. So, the thought was in my head to do so, but I couldn't process it. There was just so much noise, I couldn't process it. So I think with the blog and with this video and the videos coming out soon after, maybe I'll do videos once a week, but I'll write periodically throughout the week. I think this will hopefully help me get out my frustration, my creative frustration, that I haven't been able to create anything new or do something creative that I like or enjoy with my work, so I think doing this will help. I think having my voice out there maybe will help, even if nobody else is there to hear it. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, that's what I have for now. See you next week.